Hello everyone, and welcome to the bonus Halloween stream of Tuesday, November 2nd? Yes. We didn't finish our Halloween celebrations on Halloween, because one of the games we played was way longer than expected. So, I am extending Halloween, I am a ghost and I can do this, to today, to this stream, for several very spooky, but also very furry videos that we have planned for today. We are starting with some playing by the pound, but we'll end off with a general furry game that's a bit of a classic in the survival horror furry community, I guess you could say. At least I think a lot of people know about it. But for now, what we are starting with is the Haunted House Choose Your Own Adventure by Forbic. This is not per se a video game. This is a browser-based set of images, and it's a GIF image gallery on FA. For Affinity, made by Forbic, with image links linking from image to image in the descriptions of each one. The descriptions also have a narrative text and choices to go from image to image. It is a choose your own adventure game played within the FA browser. In our case, I put on a nice backing track by William Cage, Algid Temple, a Super Metroid style original song, for our venture into this mansion. I'm going to be reading the text on another screen, and you guys are just going to be viewing the images and also helping me make the choices if you're in the stream. So, anyways, before we begin fully, of course, if you like the video, do think about giving it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, think about doing that as well. If you really want to help out, though, come over to Twitch. I'm trying to reach partner, but I need more viewers to do it. So you want to see more unusual, perhaps voracious, spooky content like this video, do consider coming by and helping out the view count along the way. We also have a pretty cool Discord community if you want to check that out, and I have a Coffee link if you want to help directly monetize my content. Links are in the description, so check them out if you have the inclination. But yes, we have several playing by the pound spooky games, and we're starting with a lovely vor and fat game, with a little bit of fat too. It's vor focused, but there are many spooky events to be had here. Let me begin the narration. The first description reads, "Fair warning, this journey is mostly filled with vor, but there is also weight gain and flattening. This game is navigated using links in the description. The entire adventure is animated. Enlarged images to see the 2 free animatables." Is that a word, animatables? Alright. You found yourself alone and cold on a dark Halloween night. Dressed in costume but lost on the way to your party, you stumble upon a rickety old mansion. The building towers over you forebodingly, but even its creepy atmosphere cannot deter you from the possibility of warmth and sanctuary. The sky is dark, and the moon is full as you climb up the stairs to the door. It's ajar as if welcoming you inside. Admittedly spooky, but whatever lies inside can't be any worse than wandering aimlessly at night, can it? We only have one option here, which is enter the house. Let's do that. Did you forget to unmute the door? They're not unmute. Well, I mean, we're still doing a spooky stream, so I didn't forget. I just kept it spooky. You found yourself alone. Oh, wait. No, I didn't change the page. Hold on. Boop. There we go. I changed it for myself, too. Opening the door the rest of the way, it creaks loudly as you step inside. There's a comforting sense of safety, with the room being well lit and the air being rather warm. But the thought of being an unwelcome guest at this house is slightly unsettling, combined with thoughts of ghosts and haunts on the spookiest night of the year keep you from feeling at home. The door behind you closes shut on its own as you step further inside to get your bearings. The sudden sound has you jump, and you quickly turn to try the door, but it's no use. The door is steadfast, and there is no sign of a lock to undo. You slowly turn back around, knowing you must find another way out. The room before you has staircases leading to the second floor, and a pair of doors straight ahead with a faint light shining through the crack below them. The carpet is soft and very nice to your paws after walking through the dirt for so long. Do we go upstairs, or do we go through the doors? I'll let the chat deliberate on that. Just tell me what you think we should do. And while the chat deliberates, I will answer the questions that you guys are bugging me about. If there was an amazing donation, I very much appreciate it, but right now, I'm in audiobook mode, so let me please play this game, and I will check those things later, okay? Please let me stay on script for now. I will check this after the game. So what do you guys think? Door, door, stairs, stairs, door, 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 door. Okay, it looks like mostly doors. Okay, we will go through the doors. Now keep in mind, I will be checking all routes, but for the first playthrough, I will follow where you guys want to go. So let's see. We're going to go through the doors. You enter into the main hall. A large light overhead makes the room very bright and comforting. Ornamental pillars are placed along the walls of the hall to make it appear far more grand and classy. At the end of the hall is a pair of knights guard a door. Upon closer inspection, it would appear that one is simply a suit of armor, and the other is a knight in ill-fitted armor. The knight stands proudly and minds his own business. He seems to notice you, but says nothing, and simply continues standing at his post. Remain vigilant. It makes you feel a bit uneasy that he makes no effort to greet you, but there's something calming about your presence being known and not discouraged. 2 more doors are positioned opposite of each door. Between the sounds of the armor plane settling on the overweight knight, you can hear some faint noises from the door to your right, accompanied by some pleasant smells. Behind you is the double doors to return to the foyer. We have 4 choices here. Listen carefully. We can enter the door on the left, enter the door on the right, go through the double doors, which is going back, or enter door behind guards. I'm not worried about getting lost because as this is a link-based game, the links actually are turning blue as I've selected them, so I will know what paths I have taken. Granted, a few paths are down the same route, so I might have to be paying attention all the same. You guys go ahead and judge which door I should go through. Also, I'd like to note, this is a good time to note, this game was made by Forbic, who has a lot of friends, a lot of furry friends. A lot of his friends are in this game as characters in the game. So every character we run into is one of his friends. I won't necessarily be able to name them all, but maybe if you recognize one, feel free to call them out. So you guys are mostly saying to go left. Now that's the door that is, let's see. Well, there's no description about the door on the left, so, okay, let's go through the door on the left. Oh, wait, this is the door that has the spells, wasn't it? You enter through the door and find yourself in a nice and inviting room. It's brightly lit, and the moon still tries offering light of its own through a large window overlooking some tall hedges outside. A long table is set up down the length of the room, but all the table settings and plates of food have found their way to the head of the table. It is at the head of the table you see a rather large pink bunny stuffing its face with a collection of all the food around him. His costume seems stretched a bit thin, as bits of blue fur seem to be poking out between ripped seams, as he continues fattening up with the meals meant for a full gathering of guests. The large bunny seems very distracted with his own meal, and you find it fairly easy to move about the room and take in the sights from outside without him noticing. You're reminded that it's much warmer indoors. There's a door back to the main hall, as well as another door near the other end of the room. What choice shall we make here? Shall we return to the main hall, go back, use the far door, or approach large bunny? I'll start numbering the choices in the future so it makes it more clear what the choices are. So that is 1, return to main hall, 2, use far door, or 3, approach large bunny. Feel free to either spell out your choice or just use a number if you want. Approach, far door, approach, far door, approach, far door, approach, far door. This is very back and forth. Far door. Back forth, back forth. Far door. Okay, most of you want to use the far door. Interesting. It's interesting that the majority want to see progress and not dangerous situations. But we'll go with that, because we're going to check all paths anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We're trying to beat the game the first one. Let's see if we can do it. I see what we're doing. Oh, 2 approaches, though. Oh, a 3rd approach, a 4th approach. Oh, that might overdo it. I think that overdoes far door by 1 or 2. Oh, that definitely does it. All right, we're going to approach. I see, I said that, and everybody was like, oh, yeah, well, I'll show you, Char. I'll show you, Char, for what you're saying. All right, we're going to approach the large bunny. You decide that maybe it'd be wise to approach the voracious creature, considering everything in front of him, and maybe ask for directions. You move towards his end of the table, and he doesn't quite notice you until you're only feet away. The bunny looks up at you with stuffed cheeks, and a sudden glance in your direction causes you to stop in your tracks. Your eyes lock for a moment, and you're both still. The bunny swallows his mouth full of food and licks his lips. He looks very bloated and full, but seems to have ill intentions with you. You take a step back and let out a very unsure as the large animal leans against the table suddenly and grabs onto the hood of your costume. As you turn and try to pull away, you're tugged back against the massive, soft bunny's belly. He grabs firmly onto you, and just as he had shoveled in so many meals before, you find yourself stuffed into his chubby face. It seems like he's already hit his limit a little while ago, but as you try to escape his tired maw, your face is met with a large paw as he keeps you in place. Your struggles are nothing against the force of the large bunny paw, and walls that surround you, as it looks like your captor finally finds the strength in him to close his mouth and sit you down with one giant gulp. Your journey ends inside the stomach of a hungry bunny as just another plate of food in a 14-course meal. Game over. Try again. I'll start from the beginning each time, since the try again option does send it that way. By the way, this game over was titled Wusky, so that is this is that character's name, Wusky. Oh, I should mention that each area does have a title. The previous area was the dining hall, where we were approaching the bunny. The area before that was the main hall, the one with where we saw the knights, and the foyer was where we started inside the mansion. Just to spell that out. I like there's also a comment on the Game Over Wusky page, because it is after all an FA submission and you can do comments. There's a comment by James Lights in the Fox that says, damn it! Damn it, I got a game over. And you were a hair away from avoiding this, just a vote or two. I will not be rereading text that we've already read, but I will be redoing choices in most cases. So let's go enter the house again. And if there's an option for a choice change, we can do it. So here's the first choice that we can, again, decide on. Do we, again, wish to, 1, go upstairs, or 2, go through the door from the main foyer? Now, obviously, if we go back through the doors, there's still other choices in there, so that's still totally viable. But we can also go upstairs. 1 seems like a good escalate. Yeah, just say, actually, would my staff be willing to do a 1-minute vote each time we have a choice? Just 1 minute. I think that's a good amount of time. Hello, creature. Would one of my staff be willing to handle votes for this? Just a 1 or a 2 vote. You can just type vote and have the choices be 1, 2 in this situation. Just a nice quick vote. All right. So upstairs 1, through the doors 2. Go ahead and whatever staff member feels they can run votes very quickly is the one that should do it. And you're all confused. Well, for this screen, I'll take the votes that people are staying out loud. It looks like people want to go through the door again, so we'll go through the door yet again. While my staff figure out what voting is again. All right. Okay, so we are back into the main hall. Once again, I've already read the text here, so we have 4 choices. They're all viable choices still. So we have the option of 1, enter door on the left, 2, enter door on the right, 3, go through the double doors, or 4, enter door behind guards. Go ahead and just give me a number for now until my staff figure out how voting works. Use the vote if it pops up, but if it doesn't pop up, just give me a number. Now, enter door on the left leads us to the bunny. There is another door in that room, though. Enter the door on the right, 2, we have yet to see. We go through the double doors, 3 is just going back to the foyer. And enter door behind guards, 4, we have not done. And staff, just call out when you're actually ready to run polls. We'll change it over to polls at that time. It looks like most of you... I'm going to take the vote now. So most of you are voting enter door behind guards. Let's do that. Feeling a bit confident, having not been shouted at or told to leave by the guard, you can't help but feel a little bit more like walking around as if you own the place. You stand up taller and march your way to the door behind the two guards. Admittedly just the one, as the other seems decorative, but the real one is big enough for two anyways. The heavy alligator's smug grin fades into more of a stern look as he stands fast and begins to stare at you with some piercing, icy blue eyes. You stop in your tracks for a bit and gulp nervously before continuing forward, a bit slower and nervous as you had been traveling before. The large reptile growls deeply as you reach for the doorknob. At this point, you can't help but feel like maybe he's guarding your exit? It has to be through this door. You just know it. As your paw tightly grips around the handle, the gator makes his move. You find yourself easily yanked off the door and quickly tossed to the hungry jaws of the night. You're thrown back without a chance to struggle as he swallows you into your doom. The belly of the beast is a tad more spacious than you thought, but still pretty cramped. You push and pound on the walls that surround you, but you find yourself a bit discouraged as a loud belch rumbles out around you. You suppose that maybe you should have tried asking. Game over. This game over is Forbic himself, the creator of this little adventure game and the drawer of it. This is his character, his gator self. Developer cameo. No. So that's another game over. You got us 8 again. Go figure. All right, back to the house foyer we go. Staff, are you good? Are you guys ready? Or I know some of you have done polls before and had no trouble with it. Should I be running polls? What's up? What's up? What's up, staff? Clue me in. Where to now? Yes, 1 or 2. Do we go upstairs? 1. Or go through the doors again? 2. How's that? Yeah, that's good. You don't have to write out the names, but that's fine too. Yeah, you could just do the numbers, though, to make it faster. We're trying to be efficient here, so just say vote, and 1, 2 are the options, or 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on what options we have. And just have it be for 1 minute. That way we keep the pace going. The thing here is we need to be efficient, because otherwise we'll slow down the video a lot, and the gameplay. Anyways, yes, you did a good job. It was a 1 minute vote, nice and quick. Go ahead and vote, guys. Though it looks like the vote's going to land on through the doors once again. All right, through the doors. If voting does become too tedious, I will speed it up by deciding to vote before it ends. Say at the 30-second mark, whatever the votes are, I'll go with that or something. So expect me to possibly change how this works. Right, now that we're back in the main hall, we have another vote to do. Do we, 1, enter the door on the left, 2, enter the door on the right, or 3, go through the double doors and go back? We also could 4, enter door behind guards, but we already know that's a game over, so I'm going to eliminate that from the list. We have 3 options here. And once again, there is a poll up. Just do not vote for 4. It's a dummy option. Unless you want to get eaten by gator again, which I understand. I understand your motivation, but I'm still not going to pick 4. All right, half the vote's done. I'm gonna go with it. We're gonna go through 1. Enter the door on the left. Like I said, the shortest. By the way, for those that are aware, the shortest Twitch vote is 1 minute. I'm gonna pick from 30 seconds though. So make sure to vote quickly. All right, back through the door on the left again. Obviously, we only have 2 choices here. Do we want to back off to the main hall again, or do we want to use the far door? 1 or 2. Though actually, I'm not going to make it a choice because there's really only one viable path forward, and that is using the far door. Let's do that. The atrium. You open the door and find yourself in an atrium. A large window and glass door looks into an eerie hedge maze. The moonlight is providing the main source of light in this room, as it looks like there's no other lights in here. There's a bit of a floor you can see is broken, but you can't make out what's down below. You cautiously avoid the hole as you look about your surroundings. There are 2 doors on opposite walls besides the exit out into the hedges. Do we want to, 1, back up to the dining hall, 2, go to the door opposite of the dining hall, 3, enter the hedge maze, or 4, drop down hole? Once again, that is 1, go back the way we came. 2, go through the door on the far side. 3, enter the hedge maze. A lovely place to be in on a Halloween night. Or 4, drop down the hole. Make sure to vote quickly. I might even speed it up faster depending on how I feel the pace should be. But I'll usually wait for 30 seconds. Oh wow, 3 and 4 are neck and neck right now. Nobody cares about that door on the other side, apparently. It's boring. Holes and hedge mazes are much more interesting. Alright, it looks like the hole went out. Basement landing. The floor is littered with debris and boards for the floor above. A strange colored liquid drips steadily from a pipe, which had been previously run through the flooring, you assume. There is a hole to the floor above you, but it'd be impossible to traverse that way. Against the wall is a large, heavy door that seems to have been used enough times to leave a trail on the ground in the shape the door is opening. The door is slightly ajar, and you can hear whirring and metallic clanging from within. To your left is a hallway continuing through the basement. A quick glance at the floor, and you can catch a small mouse scurrying about. There's no telling what you'll find down here. Do we want to, 1, enter through the heavy door, or 2, go down the hallway? And indeed, there is a little mouse on golf cameo. So, that is, again, 1, enter through the heavy door, or 2, go down the hallway. Like I said, if you don't see a vote pop up, then go ahead and just vote with your number on the screen. Since I don't see anybody, so I don't see a staff ready to vote, it's all good. It's fine. Actually, staff, would it be helpful? Whoever wants to run the votes, whoever is running the votes, here, have this. You can be one step ahead of me as I read the narration and set up the votes because you can see what choices I'm making in each situation. So go ahead and have this link. Yes, have this link. You can follow along with me and see the choices in advance that way. Which hopefully means you guys can paste the votes a little faster that way. Alright, we're going to go down the hallway because that's what people are picking. Alright, basement hallway. You stare down the long hallway, and you immediately notice a flame dancing in the darkened room far ahead of you. The basement isn't in the best of shape, as the floor and walls seem damaged and old. The odors from down here are none too pleasant either. You don't want to stay here longer than you have to. 2 doors stand opposite of each other. The one on your left is wrapped up in yellow caution tape, and has an eerie glow out from under the door. The door on the right seems far more simple in design, and without the tape attempting to keep you out, it feels a lot more welcoming too. The hallway continues further still. It's heading towards a dark room with a strange fire you can see, which is rather unsettling. Behind you is a room with a metal door and the hole in the ceiling. Do we want to, 1, go to the door on the left, 2, go to the door on the right, 3, go down the hall, or 4, return backwards to the metal door? The vote is up. And yes, that's fine. Releasing the vote about the same time I'm giving the options is good. Thanks for being so on top of this, Epic. I assume that's you. It looks like many people are interested in that caution tape. They think caution tape is welcoming, it looks like. Alright, we're gonna go on the door. We're gonna go through the door on the left then. Ah, the chemist lab. The door quietly creaks open. A myriad of smells gently burn your nose as they flood your senses. Scanning the room, you discover the source of the scents in the form of multiple vials and flasks of liquid lining the counter. A raccoon stands behind the crowded counter with his back to you. Dressed in a white lab coat and goggles, he doesn't seem to have been alerted to your entry of the room just yet, his paws busily working away on what you can only guess to be another concoction. The soft pads of your paws make no noise as you walk further into the room, passing by pages of notes pinned to the wall and visibly worn textbooks as you near the containers of mystery fluid. Most of the liquid is still, with a faded coloration, smelling sour or spicy to the point of almost causing you to gag. The last potion, however, smells sweet, almost sugary. The color is strong and vibrant, alive with bubbles giving it a carbonated appearance. You look up to see that the raccoon chemist has still not noticed you, looking back down at the alluring flask on the counter. Your mouth waters as your mind urges you to taste it, to quench the thirst you are suddenly keenly aware of. It can't be that bad if it smells and looks that good. Oh, you messed up a vote? You messed up a vote. Alright. Do we 1, fight urge and leave room, or 2, drink from the flask? I feel like this vote's going to be a little unanimous, and it looks like that's the case. I'm just going to err on the side of predictability and select drink from flask. Oh my! You raise game over, Thomas. You raise the potion to your lips, chugging its contents in just a few gulps. Its taste is reminiscent of lime Kool-Aid, almost too sugary as it slides down your gullet and pulls in your stomach. At least your thirst has been quenched momentarily. Almost instantly, something seems wrong. Your mouth is left with a numb sensation that seems to spread down your throat. Your mouth begins to water, generating so much drool that it spills out from between your lips and trickles down your chin. You reach up to wipe the slobber away of your arm, only to hasten the oncoming panic as you find that your saliva has adopted the same vibrant green coloration of the potion, as well as turning thick and sticky, almost like honey. The final shock hits you as you look down, finding your belly surging forward and your limbs growing thick and heavy, looking as though they are literally melting. A green hue radiates from your swollen gut, followed by the same numbing sensation still present in your mouth. Your fur is replaced by a viscous liquid that seems to flow from your pores and coat your entire body, dripping to the floor in massive volumes as your form begins to grow in girth and height. The numbness subsides, only to be shadowed by a fog that clouds your thoughts and senses, rendering you unable to collect your thoughts. You can only focus on one thing that's burning to the back of your head as your transformation begins to slow to a halt. The absolute hunger that screams from your translucent body. Your body wishes to grow larger, and it needs fuel. Your attention is brought back to the other living thing in the room, the chemist. You scan the room to find the raccoon staring in awe and fear of your form. Your movements are quick for a being comprised of thick slime. Soon your mouth is closed around the wriggling scientist, driven to fulfill the emptiness of anything. After a couple slick gulps send the raccoon down into your body, he squirms with you watching with a little sense of pride. You rest, letting your body take the nutrients from your meal and use it to expand even more. Your energy must be conserved, after all. The hunger will return. Game over. It would appear the cameo here is Thomas the Raccoon. I do not know Thomas the Raccoon, but he is the one who... oh yeah, by the way, a lot of these scenes are actually involving individual people. Individual characters owned by people. Those people are actually writing the sections involving them, usually. So that's interesting, too. Let's try again, then. What's funny is with this description of saliva and such, I'm just like, I have too much saliva in my mouth. I can't talk. Can't narrate this. Okay, once again, the choice in the foyer, as we return to it, is 1, go upstairs, or 2, go through the doors. Now, there's still stuff to do through the doors, but upstairs we have yet to go to as well. So these are both viable options. This is why you label things. Exactly. You gotta be, if you're gonna be a mad scientist, you still gotta be an organized mad scientist. Stairs, stairs, door. Okay. Door, door, stairs, stairs, door, door, door. 1. That's stairs. Door, door. Okay, we're gonna go through the doors again, since doors won out on this vote. Which leads us, of course, back to the main hall. Now, I'm going to eliminate the options that don't work out. Well, it's just 1, actually. Do we 1, enter the door on the left again? There is still paths that direction. 2, enter the door on the right. We've never gone in there. 3, go back through the double doors. Those are our choices. 1, 2, 3. Why is there a vor option? You guys are... That's just silly epic. Yes, that is number 4, technically, but we see that one, so. You're a dork, by the way. Oh, wow, left and right door are neck and neck right now. I'll have to wait for this to level out before I choose my vote. Sudden death, which one wins? Depends on what gets a vote first. Ah, 2 wins. We're going to enter the door on the right. We have not been this way. The kitchen. You find yourself in a kitchen. Its many delicious scents assail your senses. There's a door to the main hall and a locked door on the opposite side of the room. A masked figure is cheerfully preparing some more enticing foods for some great feast. All this rain around these halls has you feeling peckish. Do we want to 1. Return to the main hall, or 2. Try some food? The door is on an option in the back because it's locked. So that is just 1 or 2. Hungry for choices? Oh, Epic, you're making this entertaining. I like this. Predictably, everybody wants us to choose the only option that can be done in here. Try some food. That's understandable. Let's try some food. As soon as you take your first bite, your stomach awakens with a loud rumble. You can't help yourself and begin to stuff your face with the freshly cooked treats on the table. Juicy, moist, spongy, sweet and savory, the many flavors of fried, baked, or roasted deliciousness assail your taste buds. Assortments of exciting meals keep appearing before you, and you can't stop sampling everything offered. Time passes in a blur before you suddenly remember you're supposed to escape. You try to rise, but your feast has left you incapacitated. Your gut groans with stuffed, taut discomfort, fattened so much as begun to rest against this cold floor. The masked stranger tut-tuts and chuckles from behind their mask, and then offers you another slice of their delicious, juicy, and irresistible cake. Game over. This was the Sephiros ending, and that is indeed Sephiros over there. I know Sephiros. He's also an artist, does a lot of fat stuff. Sometimes for it too. It was a swell meal. Ah, but we must try again. That is a game over. Not a bad game over, but a game over all the same. Oh, for some reason this put us back on the enter the house screen. Unlike the others, which put us in the foyer. Alright, back to the foyer we are. And we all know the choice at this point, guys. Do we want to, 1, go upstairs, or 2, go through the doors? Due to the fact that votes can only be done so fast, go ahead and just vote in the chat for this one. Or, actually, never mind. I guess polls can be run back to back. Well, there is a poll, or you could vote in the chat. Either way works. Err on the side of the vote, though, because it makes it easier for me. Charm don't do math counting too good. Charm likes things that now count for him. Alright, so you guys are actually voting to go through the doors again. We want to eliminate all possibilities in here, clearly. Alright, speaking of which, let's see here. Okay, so we went through the door on the right, and we've eliminated the options in there. So I'm going to remove the door on the right as an option, and I'm going to remove the door behind the guards as an option. So, this leaves us with this. Do we want to, 1, enter the door on the left, or 2, go back through the double doors? Of course, you guys probably don't want to backtrack. So in any situation where the only other option would be backtracking, I'm going to go ahead and err on the side of forward progress. We're going to go through the door on the left. Because I assume you guys don't want to go into a room and then immediately leave it. So. And here, again, there's really only one choice that we haven't done, and that is to use the far door. Well, we have done it, but we haven't done all the options down it. So, back to the atrium, where we have a proper choice again. Do we want to, 1, go the door opposite the dining hall, the one on the far wall, 2, enter the hedge maze, or 3, drop back down the hole? If I recall, there are still options in the hole, after all, so I will still include it, naturally. Go ahead and just vote in the chat for this one, since the previous poll is still sitting there. Looks like most of you want to do the maze. All right, let's do the maze. We will enter the hedge maze. All right, we are in Maze A. You begin slowly walking through the hedges, towering over you on both sides. The path is direct and winds for a bit, but it isn't long before you're met with a small fork in the paths. Peering cautiously down both ways, it's impossible to determine which is the right way, if any of them are. You can't shake the feeling that you're being followed, but turning to look back, you see nothing but hedges, dirt, and sky. Still, seeing nothing doesn't put your mind at ease. There is no turning back. Do we go 1 left or 2 right? A very simple choice this time. There is a vote on screen if you want to use that, ideally. It looks like left is right, according to the vote. We'll see how it balances out at the 30-second mark, though. Or is right left? Oh. It's like a race. The votes have leveled out. Sudden death. Who votes on this next? Gets to choose. Ah, it's left. We're going left. All right. Maze dead end. Your turn takes you to an unfortunate dead end. You're about to turn around when you notice a large shadow overtaking yours. Frozen, you dare not turn around. You close your eyes and wish you could will yourself away. But an ominously low rumble of a growl from right behind foretells another fate for you. Right is always right, apparently. Now, there's only one option here. Continue. Hey, little friend. You took the wrong bend. But I'm pleased to demonstrate why it's called a dead end. The horribly rhyming raptor dragon belches around you. Game over. Evoc. Evoc. As in the guy who also made Oddworld, which we played Chapter 1 of, and I still need to play Chapter 2 of for you guys. Also a really nice guy. I've been in good conversations with him. And he's got a lovely raptor dragon who just ate us. Oh no. I can't stomach poems. Well, we can stomach this one. Alright, let's try again. I appreciate the poem. I like a good vor poem. I like writing poems too. Alright, back into the foyer. The choice, as always, is we're very familiar. 1, go upstairs. 2, go through the doors. I do need to stream Oddworld Chapter 2. That is a long-standing thing I need to get back to. It, however, is a huge narration effort, way more than, say, this Choose Your Adventure is. So it runs my voice ragged to do those, so I gotta kind of prep for it. Takes a lot of effort to narrate, guys. It really does. Especially if you're doing a good, a good emotive job. So 1 or 2, upstairs or down? There is a vote on screen. I hope this pace is working out. I feel like this is a good pace. Yes, we're taking a little bit of time since I'm letting you guys choose the choices, but it's more fun this way. If I chose them myself, we could do this much faster, but I like, this gives me a little time to break between narrations too. It looks like you guys actually are doing something unusual and actually wanting to go upstairs this time. All right then, let's go upstairs. Upstairs landing. You slowly make your way up the stairs, gripping the handrail to put some of your weight on that as the occasional step on the staircase groans loudly, and you're still unsure about making your presence known. The carpeting continues up the steps all the way up to the second floor landing. Here on the second floor, you're greeted with 2 doors and a table covered with a faint layer of dust that shows that the place has been tidied at least somewhat recently. Above you on the ceiling hangs the cord to pull down the steps to the attic, which appears to be ominously open just enough to see how dark it is up there. Do we want to, and again, I'm going to eliminate back options from now on, so do we want to, 1, enter the left door, 2, enter the door straight ahead, or 3, enter attic. Because nothing bad ever happened in the attic of a spooky house. Finish my Pepsi. Oh, wow. Okay, we're going to do the attic then, I suppose. Most people have voted in chat. That's good enough for me. Let's do the attic. The attic. Unsure as to what or who you may find up there, you pull down the stairs of the attic. The room above you still appears very dark compared to the room around you, but you steady your nerves, take a deep breath, and begin your ascent. Your steps sound a bit heavier on the cold, hard wood. Entering the attic, it takes a moment for your eyes to adjust. The moon peers in through a cracked, rounded window, and its mystical light illuminates a strange figure to your side. You take a quick step back and ready yourself to face down the terrible creature, which turns out to be a mannequin as your eyes focus on it and grow used to the room around you. Letting out a sigh of relief, you notice something your eyes were originally drawn to before getting distracted by the figure on your right. In the center of the room lies a wooden coffin, slightly propped open by a sky blue tail that idly sways, softly brushing the floor. Maybe now is a good time to turn back? Or perhaps you could find a friend in the mysterious being that rests in the creepy, dark coffin in the attic. There's only 2 options here. 1, return downstairs, or 2, investigate coffin dweller. Since I'm eliminating back options, you know what we're picking. Let's investigate the coffin dweller. You've already shown bravery in coming this far, and you won't be turned away now. Whatever is waiting inside this coffin knows the way out, and you approach it with confidence. Taking only a couple steps forwards, one of the old floorboards lets out a creak, and the tail in the coffin stops moving. You pause and wait for something to happen, but there's nothing but silence. Continuing ahead, you get nice and close and reach for the lid with some caution, as your confidence has been slightly shaken. Just as your paw gets within range of the lid, it pops open. The blue lizard that belongs to the tail springs forward and grabs onto your shoulders. In one swift motion, his jaws stretch open as well as you're pulled into his eager maw. You put up your best fight, but the vampiric reptile's grip is strong, and his gullet is powerful, and seems all too ready to pull you on in. With some audible gulp echoing around you, you find yourself quickly lost inside the warm, slimy insides of the lizard. You push and struggle from within, but the creature seems to have no intent on letting you out as he stretches and smiles, quite content with the surprising breakfast in bed that so willingly came to him. Game over. This is Dea. D-A-E-A. I think I've seen his character around, but I never do his name. Well, at least we didn't get bitten by the vampire? That is a game over, though, so we must try again. Alright, once more, the place we see so often, the foyer. Do we go upstairs or go through the doors? Both are options, so 1 or 2. Upstairs, 1. Doors, forward, 2. There is more to see on any floor at this point. You get the gist now. Doors, stairs. Upstairs we go. The vote already looks very towards that option, so let's go back upstairs. Alright, we're back on the upstairs landing, and we have 2 choices now. Do we want to, 1, enter the left door, or 2, enter the door straight ahead? One bad thing about the Twitch polling system is that until one poll ends, another poll cannot begin. So if we do move quickly between screens because of them being rehash screens and a vote is still going for the previous screen, just vote in the chat for that particular vote, because it's impossible to run another vote until one ends. So, do you guys want to go straight or left? Or left or straight, rather. 1, 2. It looks like most of you wish to go straight. Let's go straight. Bathroom. You find yourself in a bathroom. Though it's small for a room, it's quite large for a bathroom. Most of the room is burgundy color, from the walls to the smooth tile floor. It has all the furniture you would expect from a bathroom. A toilet, a bathtub, a sink with a mirror. There's a damp towel crumpled to the floor. You can hear the steady plip, plip, plip dripping from a second damp towel hanging from the towel rack to your left. To your right, you see a carpet shark trying on a spotted, loose-fitting cow costume. He seems concerned about something, and hasn't yet noticed that you've barged in. We only have 2 options here, to leave the room or offer to help shark. So, of course, we're going to offer to help the shark. A carpet shark, it seems. Is a carpet shark a real species of shark? I'm not actually sure. Let's offer to help the shark, since that's the only non-back option. Oh, you can in-pull with in-pull? Fair enough, Sirio. I guess, Epic, you should keep that in mind. Whatever is bothering the shark, it must be bad if he hasn't noticed you walk into the bathroom of him. You clear your throat, gently trying to get his attention. Him? He looks up to you, surprised to see someone there, and just blinks. I knew I should have locked that door. So much for my costume being a surprise. Sorry, you apologize for your intrusion. You seemed worried. I just wanted to know if there was anything I could help with. This costume doesn't fit right, he says, tussling the spotted coveralls around. It's too big. It's supposed to be baggy, but not this loose. Actually, his gaze drifts upward until it locks on you. Uh-oh. I think I could use your help. He takes a step towards you, a toothy grin starting to spread over his muzzle. You smile nervously back. You keep facing towards the approaching shark, pawing at the door behind your back to find the handle. I think I just thought of a way to make this costume fit better, and keep it a surprise. You grab hold of the doorknob just in time, but you fumble. The rounded knob is wet and too slippery to grip. The shark lets out a soft chuckle as you flatten back against the door, that toothy grin widening, drawing closer and closer until splitting to engulf you with an almost gentle Should have knocked first. Game over to shark. I don't know if shark is owned by somebody because it simply says shark. However, the description is written by Reed Wolf slash Emusal, who is a friend of mine. I think I've talked about him before, so perhaps the shark is his. Now, carpet sharks are sharks classified in the order whatever that word is. So this is actually a real species of shark I never knew about. I guess they got little droopy whisker things. That's kind of cool. Well, the cow costume definitely fits better now. Let's try again. All right, we all know the drill. 1, upstairs. 2, through the door. And Epic continues to be really punny with his vote options. Epic, did you notice that it's possible to cancel votes, apparently? In poll, 1 word. So once I've decided, you can in poll. And I certainly have decided that we're going to go up. There is still an option up there, isn't there? Pretty sure, at least. Yes. Alright, and there is only 1 new option up here, and that is going through the left door, which we have yet to do. I'm not going to make this a vote, I'm just going to go there. We've almost eliminated all the options at the top floor, at least as far as I'm aware. Yeah, that seems to be the last one. Just double checking. The bedroom. As you nervously make your way towards the doorway and reluctantly open it up, you peek in to be greeted with what appears to be a rather fancy master bedroom. It's the kind of room that makes you feel warm and cozy, everything all neat, tidy, and inviting. Except for the bed. Maybe the owner's not as big a fan of making their bed? We can either 1, leave room, or 2, search room. But since we do not do backsies, we're going to search the room. You quietly look around the room for a couple minutes, suddenly halting your investigation the moment you realize a large shadow casting over your entire body. Something warm and soft presses up against your back, putting you on edge as to who or what is right behind you. Turning around with much hesitation, you slowly look upward to see an extraordinarily tall, presumably wild Pikachu looking down at you. Sporting a healthy, bottom-heavy figure, the large Pokemon locks eyes of you, smirking and licking his lips. Before you can react to run, his paws grab a tight hold of your body, lifting you up to his face. Locking up with fear, next thing you know, you find yourself a fitting meal for the greedy Pikachu. Stuck in his stomach, you feel it bounce as he lazily waddles, before the entire thing shifts to the side as he lays his back into the messy bed. The clear dent in the bed is filled by his rump. The heavy Pikachu rests one paw behind his head lazily, the other paw patting and rubbing his slightly distended stomach. It frequently wiggles and wobbles about to your panic struggling from within. But alas, your efforts are in vain, the intense wriggling eventually ceasing, the Pikachu full and sated. Game over. This is Mel. He's not actually a Pikachu, I think, but he is wearing a Pikachu costume, so he may as well be a Pikachu. That's how it works. And yet again, we must try again. That eliminates the entire upstairs, though, because there is nothing but Noms up there. Oh no. So, given that fact, I can eliminate a few more options. We are no longer given an option in the foyer, because all the upstairs options have been eliminated. We can only go through the doors. Which also means, in the main hall, let's see here. Have we eliminated all options here? Yes, I think we have. Right is the kitchen, which is one option. We can backtrack, which is useless to us. And going through the double doors, or going through the door behind guards, gets us 8. So we must go through the door on the left. Which also means we must go through the far door. Yes, we've eliminated quite a few options now. Alright, now we're back to this area, which is the next choice we must do. So, in the atrium, we can still either, 1, go through the door opposite the dining hall, 2, enter the hedge maze, we can do all the paths there, or 3, drop down the hole and try to go a different way there. So this is our new choice room, basically, our starting choice room. Since every choice before this is already eliminated. So that is 1, door opposite the dining hall, 2, maze, 3, hole. Or whatever poll organization Epic did, which is different. Just take your pick. It is only a shame that the YouTube experience does not involve seeing what these poll options look like. That is part of the reason that I recommend you guys come over to twitch.tv/ChardPlaysGames if you can make it, because we have a lot of fun over here, and there's some stuff that you don't see on YouTube that you only see on Twitch. So do consider coming by. Okay, wow, this is a close one. Hedge is hedging the bet, hedging the vote. But I think Hedge wins out by a leaf cutting. I don't know. Oh, no, it tied. Oh, that was an actual tie. Okay. Well, in the event of tie, I'm just going to decide myself. And in that case, I'm going to say we should go to the hole. Because, well, actually, no. I'm going to take Hedge Maze. I'm going to pick Hedge Maze. After thinking about it. Now, in the hedge maze here, Maze A, we took left last time, hit a dead end, and got eaten by a raptor. So let's go right. That's our only other option here. Maze B. The path continues around a couple turns. You pick up the pace a bit as you can swear you hear footsteps that do not belong to you. As you whip around the next corner, however, you're faced with another split in the path, this time with more options. A stone fountain sits in the middle of the path. It's dry and looks like it hasn't been functional for some time. You try to take a moment to admire what would be a nice setting in the right light, but you're reminded that you must hurry. You're too afraid to look back, but you could swear you can feel something breathing down your neck. We have 4 choices here. Do we want to go 1, far left, 2, far right, 3, near left, or 4, near right? To use my mouse to demonstrate, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Epic, you failed your vote, so do it. Just vote on chat this time, because Epic broke the poll. It's okay. Commands are hard to do. The poll is up. You can actually use it now then. Oh, so using text commands sucks. I wish that my moderators could have a similar interface that I have from my stream manager. It'd be kind of great if I could give that to them as well. Because then they could press buttons and make things happen. It'd be a lot easier. Just a word of note, it might be hard to get through the hedge maze. Wow, neck and neck votes. Somebody break the tie. Somebody break the tie. The poll is currently 4, 4, and 4. There we go. Far right one. This isn't a political stance. Using poll brings up a UI. It does? Why is there just not a UI option to begin with then? Alright, far right. Uh-oh. Now, I have a little secret for you. There is no new dialogue here. The dead ends paths all lead to the same result in the maze. Something I am aware of in advance. Yes. We can just use the back button if you guys want to try again. Actually, I'm going to leave it up to you. Should I penalize by going back to the start of the maze? Or should we just reverse? Actually, let's just reverse. This is the same maze that ended as before, though. But just for fun, here's the game over again for it. It is, unfortunately, going to be the same Raptor Noms regardless. Or fortunately, perhaps. It's not the full experience if we don't restart from the start. Yes, but actually, what restart from the start means in this situation. And actually, here's the thing. You guys need to use your brain. I'm gonna make this your job. Because this is a fun way of doing it. You guys gotta remember which paths we're taking the hedge maze now. Because I sure as hell can't remember. There is a clue for the maze in another place. That is true. We could explore further to figure out the maze, perhaps. All right, let me bring us back to the last place where we have a choice, which is right here. Let's return to the atrium. Once again, here are our choices. 1, door opposite the dining hall. 2, hedge maze. Or 3, drop down hole. We can wander back into the hedge maze and be blindly look around, or we can try to look for a hint somewhere else, if it maybe exists. Also, Syria, no spoilers. I'll take that one, but that's a good one to throw down as a bone. But okay, I see a lot of votes for hole, so in we go. Oops, I opened the wrong page. That's okay. That works too. Okay. Now, the hole here, we still have 2 choices we haven't done here. We can, 1, enter through the heavy door, or 2, go back down the hallway and check out something else down there. Also, Epic, your vote was a little slow there. You can end vote that. All right, you guys want to do the door? Let's go through the door. The machine room. Entering through the heavy door, you step into a room with a large mechanism taking up most of the floor space. The machine seems to be in operation, but doesn't seem to be accomplishing anything. A bizarre-looking mechanical arm seems to be idly waiting for some kind of command. Near a conveyor belt is a large red button with no label or instructions. Propped up against the wall, you can see some very strange-looking paintings that resemble foxes and a fair amount of discomfort and fun costumes. You never really understood art. Some people just have weird taste. You wonder if the strange machine can be of any assistance on your quest to escape the house. The shiny red button catches your eye again. Only one way to find out? That's funny, those paintings are moving. But there is indeed only 2 options here, to leave the room or press the button, so we are going to press the button. Your curiosity gets the better of you as you extend your paw and press the large button on the wall. The machine, already rhythmically moving, seems to whir louder and spring to life some. The robotic limb reaches out and grabs onto you, pulling you onto the conveyor belt and pinning you down. You try to pull away or roll off the belt, but the machine is strong and has quite the grip on you as you move towards an uninviting pair of rollers with what appears to be no gap between them. Your snout is the first to enter, and it begins to be crushed in the machine that slowly continues to usher you through its inner workings. Your body is pressed thin as you are pulled to the next part of this unfortunate ride, a heavy piston pressing down and pounding you into a thin, consistent shape. The machine pushes and pulls and stomps and stretches you around in the dark until you finally see light again after what feels like hours. You're ejected from the machine, framed like the foxes across from you now, and if it hadn't clicked in your head before, it definitely does now. You've become a new piece of art for the mansion's gallery. At least you have some new friends. Game over. We interrupt Carm's stream to bring you a Luigi's Mansion. A different take. That is indeed a game over, so we must try again. But, in the sake of expediency, let's return to the atrium. Mario! Well, that choice fell flat. Alright, we got the same choices as before, though. Do we want to, 1, go the door opposite the dining hall? 2, enter the hedge maze? Or 3, drop right back down that hole and look around some more? 1 door, 2 hedge, 3 hole. Fairly even votes, but I think we'll drop back down the hole. Yeah, looks like that's the winning opinion here. I wonder if we'll find the way out. All right, so we don't have a choice here. The heavy door just leads to squishies. So let's go back down the hallway. Now the hallway. Let's see. All right, here's our choices for the hallway here. We've already gone through the door on the left. That's where we got turned into a lime Kool-Aid monster, slime monster thing. And also, one of the choices is returning backwards. So the only choices we have here is 1, go through the door on the right, or 2, go down the hall. Talking with the raccoon was not an option. The raccoon room only had one option, and that was to drink the flask or leave. So, 1, door on the right, 2, go down the hall. Ah, like a moth to a flame, we want to go down the hall, it looks like. Alright, let's go down the hall. The larder. You find yourself in a room that seemed to house food once upon a time. Faint smells linger and give you that clue, as well as some crumbs and scraps fitted into shelves. It all seems to have been cleaned out, and somewhat recently, you would imagine, with the scents left behind. A large rug is spread over the floor. It's welcoming to step back onto the soft floor after wandering through the cold, hard basement flooring for a bit. A light bulb is fixed overhead, but only seems to provide very minimal light, as if it's ready to go out at any moment. There's a door that leads back upstairs, as well as the openings that continue down the hallway in either direction. To your right is much more inviting and brightly lit than the dark room where you saw the flame dancing to your left. The smell of wine overwhelms your senses as you move towards the dark area to investigate. So, we have the option to go back down the basement hallway. We can also head back upstairs, which actually will take us back to the kitchen. So, I guess it exits from that locked door. Maybe it's locked for one direction only. Also, very nice of you, creature. Thank you. Just to show I'm not lying, here's the upstairs option. This brings us right back to the kitchen. So I presume we came through this door. Makes sense that the larder is connected to the kitchen. Of course, that's a repeat option. So instead, we only have one option, and that is to enter the dark room. Let's do so. It's Saf. Spoiler? No spoilers. But also, where was the spoiler? I didn't see the spoilers, but no spoilers. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's go to the dark room. Ooh. Wine cellar. As you peer into the blinding darkness of the room and the darting flame housed within, you hesitantly pass through the doorway into the sparsely lit area, relinquishing what precious little light the previous room gave as your eyes fixate to the lively wisp of fire darting to and fro betwixt the few barrels and meagerly stocked shelves you can make out from its light. Various puddles of what appear to hopefully be wines and ciders glinting on the floor in the firelight as you make out the sounds of something chugging whatever might be left within the room. Despite your utmost efforts, as you stare intently in the dancing flame and around the darkened room, narrowing your eyes to try and discern any hint of detail, your efforts are in vain. The contrast from the bright, swishing light and the soot-black shadows engulfing the room proving too great to allow your eyes to properly adjust. We can either return to the larder, which isn't an option because we don't go backwards, or we can search for light. Let's do so. With a deep, confidence-boosting breath and a hushed, shaky exhale, you still your nerves and begin to fumble around the obscured wall's surface, hoping beyond hope to find a light switch or something of the sort as swiftly as possible. A shiver shocks your frame and from the tip of your tail all the way up to your spine as you quietly step in a puddle of something. Hopefully wine. Please be wine, you think to yourself, before letting out another shaky sigh under your breath. Audible stumbling and rummaging behind you in the darkened void of the room, halting your progress for a few moments as whatever lurks beyond the dancing flame, shrouded in the depths of the room, moves, and heavy objects tumble to the floor. A minute or so passes, your mind racing too quickly for you to accurately keep any semblance of time in your head, as the stumbling once again is replaced by the sound of an unknown guzzling liquid. Your movement resumes before you soon bump into what you assume to be a large, immovable cask, filled to the brim with drink, the end of which is illuminated by the flame dancing in the center of the room. As you ponder your possibilities, you imagine going around it and presenting yourself to whatever unknown thing may lie in the darkness is an absolute impossibility, so you endeavor to clamber over it as quietly as possible, soon finding yourself in the corner of the room, wedged in a small area between a towering shelf and a hefty cask beside you. Resuming your search, your eyes soon light up with hope in the darkness. A switch, and in such a secluded location as well. Gripping your soft paw pads lightly around the switch, you give it a cautious yet hasty flick, trying to make as little sound as possible as light unreliably floods the room, unsure if it would remain as the bulb flashes several times before finally remaining lit. To your surprise, an absolutely enormous, bloated marsupial sits in the same corner of the room you've wedged yourself into, not even a half dozen feet away from you on the other side of the cask, as they gluttonously gulp down gallons of alcohol, an entire keg held within his single paw. You hastily cover your muzzle to stifle a gasp, surprised you didn't manage to bump into him earlier as you climbed over right beside him, before you now quickly ponder how on earth you're going to escape the room, peeking out from behind the large barrel in front of you. You'd hoped for some sort of alternate doorway, an exit to continue through the house to your freedom, but much to your dismay, this dead end yields only countless emptied bottles and barrels, their labels illegible by time and poor storage conditions. Before you can think of an adequate way to leave unnoticed, the intoxicated behemoth before you lets out a hefty, flame-accompanied belch into the air, before casually tossing aside the heavy keg in his hand like a petty stick. It rolls into your exposed leg, causing you to let out an irrepressible, anxious whine, alerting the gargantuan drunkard to your presence, where they then greet you in an oddly comforting tone. "Hey there, little one. I thought I'd be drinking alone again tonight. Come out from behind here and sit down with me. Have one on the house," he exclaimed, as he reached for another keg sat beside him. You wondered yourself if it's wise to do as he asked, before abruptly having your thoughts interrupted once again, this time in a slightly more demanding, yet still blatantly drunk tone. "You know, if you don't come out of there, I'll just come get you myself, hon," he stated, before taking a deep, brief pause from his wine to peer menacingly down at you. Your eyes widen and you shakily climb out from your hiding place in the corner, the looming drunk once again returning to his keg for a few hefty gulps before pausing again to speak. "Ah, now that's much better. Come, grab me that barrel over there. This is a fine one, that is. And feel free to find yourself a drink you fancy as well, if there's any left, huh?" The marsupial returned to his keg, and in mere moments polished it off to the last drop, before you've even reached the barrel they demanded, chucking his aside before motioning for you to pick up the pace and bring him another drink. Rolling the heavy cask onto its side, you push it over to the massive, sloshing glutton as you eye up the entryway and decide to make a break for it the second he begins to indulge himself once more. However, as you finally reach the towering rue, barrel pressed against his bloated girth, he reaches down and takes a firm hold of your arm. "You know, it really is delightful to have someone to drink with," he spoke while grabbing the cask of his other paw, taking another few mind-bogglingly large gulps. It's a shame, however. I don't share very well. Never really have, to be honest. It's quite the predicament. But I believe I know just how to fix this in a way that's fair to both of us. He smiled down at you warmly. But his words did anything but ease your worries as he released your arm and promptly wrapped his large paw around your torso, hefting you up and wasting no time as you're shoved into his steaming maw, the pungent scent of alcohol burning your nostrils and dulling your senses as you try your best to fight back, paws pressing out firmly against those pudgy cheeks and tongue, only causing you to clumsily slide while you coat yourself in slobber. It's not long before you find yourself being slid back into his gullet, being clenched and firmly pressed by the surrounding walls as you're sent further down those doughy depths, finally being forced into his gullet, splashing audibly into a pool of wines and ciders so deep that you're forced to swim to stay afloat. The walls around you clench as the alcoholic waters splash against your face, and the voracious glutton lets out another hefty, satisfied belch in response. The air so stayed with alcoholic vapors, you find yourself swiftly becoming intoxicated in turn just from the position you're in, as you begin to lose feeling and energy while a stream of wine pours down onto your head. The sea of wine slushing and churning as the walls around you are massaged and teased by the satisfied behemoth. Ah, it really is nice to have a drinking buddy, he delightfully remarks, his words muffled through thick fat in your fading senses as everything steadily becomes dark. Game over. That was a long one. So this is Ruzard. I know of him. I talked to him a while back. He is a kangaroo with a few Charizard details here and there, as you can tell. But we must try again. But of course, try again means... Well, let's see here. We've eliminated almost down... Actually, have we eliminated every down path at this point? No, we haven't, actually. There's still one down there. Alright, let's return to the atrium. And I'll let you guys choose what to do next. This is one of the less desirable outcomes, to be honest, drowning. I mean, stomach slosh is kind of lead to that, unfortunately, sometimes. Not even just in that situation. That was a pretty good image, though. Alright, so we're back in the atrium. Yes, just images. That is what you're supposed to see. Please enjoy the audiobook that I'm reading out, Eisen. This was the best setup for this. Alright, back in the atrium, though. We still have these choices. We can, 1, go the door opposite the dining hall, 2, enter the hedge maze, or 3, drop down the hole. Yes, we're not quite done with the hole if you want to finish it off. There is, I think, one more path. The door in the hole. No, we've done that. Well, there is one door in the hole, yes. There are several doors in the hole. But there's specifically one we haven't gone through. But it looks like you guys are actually interested to check out that doorway that we have been leaving kind of untouched for a while. Did we see everything in the hedge? If we did, I wouldn't give it as an option, Ching-Li. If I give something as an option, that means we haven't done everything there. So since I gave the hedge as an option, that means there is stuff to do in the hedge. Alright, you guys voted for the door this time. Surprising. At least, I think that's what you voted for, because Epic's freaking titles are confusing me now. Oh, I see. 2 was the hedge vote. Okay, I was very confused. God damn it. He's starting to make these hard to understand. Alright. Let's go to the door opposite the dining hall. The library. Continuing deeper into the mansion, you find a room with tall, magnificent shelves, but they're mostly empty. Several books are lazily strewn about in various cubbies, but the large majority of the books are haphazardly laying on the floor. A small mound of books is fashioned as if someone was skimming through the books, looking for something in particular. Across from the books is a writing desk with a large window behind it, looking out at towering hedges. One thing that definitely catches your notice, however, is a certain green book, which seems to be open and also levitating off the ground. Something strange is going on here, and you suddenly don't feel very safe or alone anymore. We only have 2 options here. We can either leave or check the floating book. Naturally, since we do not do backsies, let's check the floating book. Going against your better judgment, you slowly approach the levitating book. The book floats up and down with a gentle rhythm as you draw closer. Once it's within your reach, you raise your paw, nervously trying to grab at the book. All of a sudden, the book slams closed with a rather loud and startling sound. Before your very eyes, a ghost materializes. The specter is long, blue, and with a fluffy-looking tail tip. Its deep sapphire eyes stare at you with a bit of anger hidden behind them. You've clearly interrupted his reading. The ghost snakes through the air effortlessly as he wraps his body around you, coiling loosely and holding you close. His form is unearthly and soft. He feels like he'd be warm to the touch if he wasn't sending chills down your spine. Without a moment of hesitation, the ghost fits his mouth around you, sliding over your entire body with no resistance. You can still see the surrounding area faintly as it's tinted blue like the belly that envelops you. The body of the ghost lifts you off the floor and continues floating in the air as the spirit resumes his reading. You hang and sag in his gut, being the only thing affected by gravity in or on this ghost, it seems. His body fades in and out of visibility as you too shall fade away as well. Game over. This is actually Spitzer, Blink. Spitzer, somebody I used to know a long time ago. Could tell his character a mile away. He's not normally a ghost, but he is now. Honestly, this exact sort of setup is something that I need to do. As a ghost dog, I can also become effectively weightless and float around. I've not done Vor in this state before. Well, there might be one picture buried away in my scraps folder, but I have to check that again. But yes, it's a fun idea. A weightless ghost with a weighted full Vor gut. It's good times. But yes, that is another game over and another path eliminated. Which I guess means that the door opposite the dining hall is no longer an option to us then. We're narrowing down our choices more and more. Alright, back to the atrium. This leaves us with just two options. Do we want to, 1, enter the hedge maze, or 2, drop down hole? There was supposed to be a hint for the hedge maze. We have yet to find it. But there is still one place in the hole to check. Deaths make me whole. Wow. That's kind of a vorish term to say, too. The Noms, they give me life. Alright, we're going to drop down the hole. And we're going to go down the hallway. There's really only one path we haven't done here, at least one door we haven't used. That's the door on the right here. So let's go through the door on the right. Basement storage. You open the door and notice right away the size of the room is quite small. It appears to be a storage closet of some sort, with a tiny candle providing a bit of extra light. The room is quite dusty and your steps leave paw prints. There's a small table with a candle resting on it, but besides that it's completely empty. A rug is nestled in the corner, rolled up and put away, seemingly unused for some time. On the wall hangs art of some sort. There's actually no option here besides leaving the room. However, it would appear that we have just gotten our hits. Which is actually kind of funny, because you guys literally eliminated every option aside from the hedge maze before finding the hedge maze hint. This was literally the last thing we could have checked out before going to the hedge maze. So good work finding the map at the last possible freaking option before the hedge maze itself. All right, we have a bit of a map here. I think I see what the solution is. So, all right. Let's go back to the atrium, since there is nowhere else to go here besides just some paths we've already taken. So, and naturally, since we have done nothing else in the since we've done everything else in the atrium, we must enter the hedge maze. And we know from the hedge maze from before that left is a dead end, so we will go right. Which puts us back here. So, which option was it, guys? Which option was the safe option? Far left, far right, near left, or near right? We did just see a map after all. Fair, get your mind out of the gutter. I was testing your guys' memory because I'm a dick. I know which option is the right one. But I want to see. Ah, yes, it does seem people have memories. Waste a vote to complain. Yes, yes, you guys understand. The near left option. Let's go that way. Oh, I have to resize the window for this one. Alright, well, let me read it off. You finally pause to catch your breath. The cold air filling your lungs is uncomfortable, but a welcome change since it means freedom. You turn and look back at the horrible house you spent a long night in. A house that wished to claim you as much as the creatures and traps held within. You shake the terrible thoughts from your head of what could have been and run into the night. The end! You have done it. It's kind of weird that the hedge maze just leaves. Hedge mazes are usually contained within, like, constrained courtyards and mansions, I thought. But yes, that is the end. And Forbic's ending credits here say, Happy late Halloween. Hopefully all people enjoyed this little project. Took a bit of time to put it together, but it was a lot of fun. Links for the cast are links to the cast as well. If you want to check that out, here's the link to that. Here's the link to the ending, and thus the link to the cast as well. But also, that's not everything, because we can also... I'm just going to scroll this slowly, just like it's animated or something. There we go. You have escaped. And here's the cast. Forbic, all dressed up, all nighty. Spencer, looking really adorable in that image. Thomas, who kind of got 8, rather to change up the trend. Dea, who I've stayed around. I think they're actually Igwolf. Evok, who is awesome and has an awesome raptor. Sephiros, good mask. Kind of a limited costume but it works. Wusky. Wobble wobble. Specs. Oh, okay, that's who that was. And Starry. I think those were the two in the paintings. And Ruzard, who might get a little sick with that much alcohol. As well as Mel. And this shark. Exactly. Thanks for playing. Well, that was pretty fun. Also, I like how you guys I like how I was expecting us to win and then have to go back to do the other options we missed. But you guys managed to eliminate every single option before winning. I'm actually quite impressed. You could say that it was either really poor play or really good play, depending on how you look at it. But yes, that was the Haunted House Choose Your Own Adventure by Forbic. I hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously, not exactly a traditional video game, but I feel like the way I was able to present it made it a little more fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed the narration. This was a good time. I enjoyed this. These are fun little animations. And, yeah. That is going to be what we begin for our spooky playing by the pound, but not what we end for our spooky playing by the pound today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and do stay tuned, because there is more Noms spooks to come.